Can I ask, just now you mentioned, for example, when you sit down to meditate, you can even ask questions like, who is the meditator?
Mm.
How does that work in the sense that, so after you ask the question, so you just, what do we do or what do we not do? And what is the purpose of asking the question? Yeah.
Yes, the way you ask the question is, of course, you sit down and you ask yourself inside, you ask, who is meditating? And then you're quiet. You're just very quiet. And at this moment, you're actually already there. When another thought comes, you can do the same. You can ask, who, well, now we're coming back to Ramana Maharshi, who's the one who's having the thought? I am. Who am I? Who is the meditator? And then you're just quiet again. The only purpose these sentences or words have is to point you back at your own being, that nothing more. And what was the other part of your question?
Yeah, you answered. I was asking what is the purpose of doing that?
Yeah.
Right.
The purpose is just to bring you back to awareness. Always, again and again and again. And it will become more comfortable and more comfortable and more comfortable. And the so-called outside, like I say, will have less and less and less a hold on you. Yeah, that's why you have these, these Zen monks or Buddhist monks, or for years and years and years, they play the same game. They do their work, they interact in life, and they always come back to themselves. They rest as awareness. They rest as awareness until, because it's like I say, you cannot separate it until it becomes like a river that flows. And they don't, probably you will not even notice at some point that something happened. And this is why when you ask them what is enlightenment, and then they would say there is no such thing as enlightenment. What is that? What are you chasing? What is there to chase? Who is chasing? You see, but it comes like a natural process. What is, now I'm asking myself, what is behind that? Behind that is an intention, right? We have an intention. The intention in spirituality is something very, very big, because that, in the end, makes things happen. Yeah. And then, of course, the letting go. Right.
So the intention, or as in the mechanics behind it is to ask questions which you cannot really get an answer, and so you ultimately quietens the mind. Is that supposed to be the mechanics behind it? Because there are two ways where it can happen. One way is so who is the meditator, for example? I could have come up with 1,000 mental answer to it, but of course that is not supposed. I wouldn't say it's not supposed to be the case, but I guess that is not what we are striving for here. So by asking question as in who is the meditator, and so who is the one that's asking the question, who is the one that's thinking, is it to other than pointing ourselves back to ourselves, is the mechanics, is it to drain any energy left of trying to think about it logically, and then which is then that's where we subside, because we have no longer any answer to it. Is that supposed to be the mechanics of it?
Yeah, yes, and yeah, but again, you're trying to understand it intellectually. What the mechanics is just, in this case, we have a very narrow field of let's call it exploration. We are only interested in who is the meditator, for example, right? So when we only have that, that is actually a pre-step to meditation already, because you have one mantra, or you have one thought, or you have one idea of whatever it is. So we have that. And then you ask, who is the meditator? And you become silent after that. The answer is already there. There is nothing more to look. If the mind comes up with any ideas like the meditator is May, or the meditator am I, then you will ask again, who is the I? Who am I? What am I? Right? And you stay there in the peace and in the silence. And eventually it will dawn on you that this silence and this peace and this awareness is you. Is you. And then you will notice this awareness exists inside myself, and it exists outside of myself. What I thought is myself, the body and the mind. So the body and the mind exist inside of awareness. That means, should the body not be there anymore, awareness is still. And then when you go make the experiment and you go out a little bit further, you will see, okay, the room exists in my awareness. The house exists in my awareness. The world and the whole galaxy and the universe exist in my awareness. At one point, it becomes very clear that you are, it's like they like to start in Advaita Vedanta, you're not the body, you're not the mind. And some old Indian traditions, they would say to you, you are a soul, right? You are a soul. So when you are a soul, you cannot be the body. How is that even possible? Your body is another object in awareness, like the glass is. So these are the mechanics behind it. You know, if you ask yourself these questions, and I did it, and it's wonderful. Why not do it?